Later this week, communities will participate in a nationwide effort to recreate a moment from history 250 years ago when town criers all across our country read the Declaration of Independence for all to hear. Well, that's happening this Wednesday in Greene County. A descendant of Colonel John Nixon, the very first person to read the document to a public audience, will be reading it aloud at the historic courthouse in Greene County. And that is former Governor of Missouri, Jay Nixon.
I've asked to do it again. In fact, I turned down a whole bunch this year. The Historical Society wanted me to do one in Columbia, and somebody wanted somewhere else. But I said, let's go to Greene County. That's where I'll do this. I really appreciated that both the Democrats and Republicans were coming together to do this. I think that's what this state and this country need, is people setting the partisanship aside for a while and getting the ice cream out.
And that reading is happening in the rotunda of the Greene County Historic Courthouse, located on North Boonville Avenue. It starts Wednesday afternoon at 2, and it will be followed by an ice cream social.